So this is my assignment where I have implemented DQ using an array. I have constructed a class array based DQ. Initially, I have set the maximum capacity of the array to be 5. Here are the members of the class: array, front, rear, size. This is the constructor. Initially, I have set array to the maximum capacity of size 5, front -1, rear -1, and size currently is 0 as there is no element in the array. Public int size, here this function returns the size of the DQ. Now public void clear, this clears the DQ, and front is -1 again, rear is -1 again, and size is 0. IsEmpty function returns boolean value describing if the DQ is empty or not by checking if this dot size is 0, then return true, else return false. Add first, it is used to add item to the front of the DQ. If the DQ is already full, then we expand the capacity of the array, else we continue. If front is -1, that is there is no element in the array, then we initialize it by front equal to 0 and rear equal to 0, and putting the given element x on the 0th index. Else we find the previous index. Suppose we are on the 3rd index, then we go to 2nd index, or if we are on the 0th index, then we go to the last index, that is maximum size -1. Here is the code for this. Similarly, add last, here is the add last function. Again, if the DQ is full, then we expand the DQ. If rear equal to -1, that means there is no element in the DQ, then we push the element on 0th index. In none of these cases, if none of these cases is true, then we execute the else block. Here we increment the rear index by 1, that is, suppose if we are on the 3rd, then we go to 4th. If we are on the last index, then we come on the 0th index by incrementing and using that using this if condition, and then we increase the size of the DQ. Let me show you the expand function first. Here is the expand function which I have made private. In this I have made allocated a new array that is twice the capacity of the initial array, and copied the elements in this new array. Now remove first. If the DQ is empty, then an exception is thrown for empty DQ, else the front element is saved in the box item. If the size of the DQ is now 0, then we set front and rear to -1, else we increment front by 1 and decrement the size by -1. Similarly, in remove last, if the DQ is empty, we throw an exception. If there was only one element and we have to remove it, then we set the rear and front by -1, else we decrement rear by 1 and return item object, that is ARR of rear. Now get function, we get the element at the given index from the DQ. We calculate the actual index by index plus this dot front modulus max size, because we don't know where is the starting, and corresponding to starting we get the actual index, and we return the element at that index from the array. Similarly, we have get last. Here is get first. If the array's DQ is empty, we return an exception, otherwise we return the element that is at the front of the queue. Here is string to string. We convert the DQ to a string. This is done by iterating over the DQ from the start front index to the rear index and adding to the string result. This is our test file. Now let's run this. This is how our code runs.